Hello, my name is Amirreza Ashurian. My student number is 2302088923, and I took Building APIs in Python assignment. Let's get to the final project. Okay, it says you've been running our very successful gadget web shop, Data Gadgets, for a few years and have recently expanded into new territories. While you've been focused on the US market for the first 5 years of our existence, you now are shipping our cool data gadgets to the UK and Europe too. But now our in-house built reporting has broken. Transactions don't only come in USD, but you're also receiving transactions in euros and British pound. To better understand the volume of transactions being made, you should convert the non-USD transactions to USD and sum up the total. To do this, however, you'll need to use the proper exchange rates. In this project, you will start with a CSV file containing all e-commerce transactions made on January 21st, but in their original currencies. Your job is to calculate the total sum in USD of all transactions so you know how much USD you sold on January 21st. To do this, you'll need to convert any non-USD transactions to USD using the exchange rate from January 21st, 2024. To get the exchange rates from the January 21st, 2024, you'll rely on VAT comply rates API, public and free currency exchange API. You'll also use pandas to load the CSV file into a data frame and the requests package to make interacting with the API easier. You need to update the order data frame so the final version has two new columns: exchange underlying rate and amount underlying USD. The final version should look as follows. And the project instruction says that query the VAT comply rates API and this address using parameters to get the exchange rates from a base currency to USD of the date of January 21st, 2024. Using the orders data frame and exchange rate from the API, calculate the total amount in USD, saving as a variable called total USD sales. Ensure the final version of the orders data frame matches the requirements detailed in the workbook. I started by loading the transaction data from the CSV file into a pandas data frame. The file had details like transaction amount and currency used. Then I fetched exchange rates. I used the VAT comply rates API to get exchange rates for January 21st, 2024 with USD as a base currency. And then I mapped exchange rates to transactions, meaning that I added a new column to the data frame to include the exchange rate for each transaction. I used the currency column to match the correct rate from the API data. Then I converted to USD. I calculated the USD amount for each transaction by multiplying the original amount by the exchange rate. This value was sorted in a new column called amount underlying USD. I will show it in the code. Then I calculate the total sales, which I summed up all the USD amounts to find the total sales in USD, and then I printed it. And some potential challenges and problems would be, for example, mapping currencies. Because I had to make sure each transaction's currency matched the exchange rates from the API. Another one would be missing or invalid data, because if a transaction's currency didn't have a matching rate, it would have caused problems. The API provided all the major currencies, so this wasn't an issue for me here, but this could be a potential issue. Another one would be API issues. The API request could fail if there is no response on the or the date is invalid. I didn't handle this directly here, but this is also like a potential problem issue. And next, I would like to explain my code. This is my code here, as you can see, and I will explain each, let's say, step or part of the code that I wrote. So in here, in this part, as you can see, is where I imported the libraries I needed. Pandas is used for handling and manipulating the data, like reading CSV files and calculating totals. And requests is used to interact with the API, which is how I got the exchange rates. Then in here, I used pandas to load the transaction data from the CSV file into a data frame called orders. So basically, this part is loading the data. This CSV file had all the sales details for January 21st, 2024, like the transaction amount and the currency for each order. And next, I needed to get the exchange rates for the currencies in the orders. So I sent a request to the VAT comply API to get the rates for January 21st, 2024. And I did this in this part. Let me explain each part of it. Request underline URL is the API endpoint I'm getting the rates from. Params is short for parameters, is where I specify that I want the exchange rates for the specific date, January 21st, 2024, and I want the base currency to be USD. Requests.get sends the request to the API with those parameters, and the response would be saved in the response variable. And response.json converts the API response into a Python dictionary, and then I access the rates field, which holds the exchange rates for all the currencies. Now I have the rates for euros, pounds, and all the currencies that I need to work with. And then here I mapped the sorry. This is the part. Well, yeah, this is actually the part that is mapping exchange rates to the orders. And this is the part that I added a new column to the data frame. The column is called exchange underline rate, and it holds the conversion rate for each transaction. I use the map function here to match the currency of each transaction in the currency column with the exchange rate from the rates dictionary that I got from the API. For example, if the currency of a transaction is euros, I will find the euro exchange rate in rates and then assign it to the new column. And then in here is the part that I calculate the amount in US dollar. Now that I have the exchange rates, I can calculate how much each transaction is worth in US dollars. So I created a new column called amount underline USD, and then I multiplied the amount column by which is the original transaction amount by the exchange rate column that this converts the amount into US dollars. So if an order was in euros and the exchange rate was, let's say, 1.09, the amount in USD will be the original euro amount multiplied by 1.09. So, well, this is so pretty easy. And the final part, well, not the final, but the final part of our calculations is where after converting all the transactions to USD, we need to get the total sales in USD. We do that here, which is a little obvious by the name of it. And I used dot sum on the amount on the USD column to add up all the USD amounts, and the result is stored in a variable called total underline USD underline sales. And the final step here is, well, printing the total USD sales, which we do here. And this is the total amount as you can see. Well, that was it. I hope you enjoyed it, and thank you so much.